Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. It's the show that is pumped for the newest trend, stitching actual Pokemon cards to Air Force Ones. And now we know what one of those Paul brothers are going to wear for their next fight, a PSA 10 Charizard Air Force One. It's not the card that's graded, it's the shoes. Let's start with some hot takes. It looks like the Comme des Garçons Nike Air Force Foamposite takeover has begun. We've got Kid Cudi wearing the black colorway courtside at the Laker game while hanging out with Kate Bishop, and Ye was pictured in a black pair as well. It should be noted that while Cuddy doesn't have a sneaker deal as far as we know, his last collab was with Adidas, and Ye, well, we know what Ye is about. More on that later. The late Kobe Bryant's investment in Body Armor paid off after it was reported that Coke bought full control of the company for $5.6 billion, meaning Mamba's $6 million initial stake is now worth $400 million. Kind of reminds me of 50 Cent's initial jump into vitamin water years ago where he cashed in after it was sold to wait. Coke also bought vitamin water, huh? Something, monopoly, something. Well, we'll worry about that later. Anyways, remember when Kobe was a vitamin water guy along with LeBron, Dwight Howard, and two-time NBA MVP, and Canadian celebrity Steve Nash?
Then we gave you vitamin water and changed the game. Hi, I'm Canadian celebrity Steve Nash.
Those were the good old days. Astroworld and Complex Con are wrapping up as you watch this, but I think I already found my favorite part of the whole weekend. Travis Scott and Jordan 4 Golfs nailing a putt. Yeah, it's 6 feet away at best, but man, as somebody who started the game a little later than I would have wanted, few things in sports are more satisfying than that, especially if there's something on the line. Next up, Cactus Jack, Nike, and Tiger Woods, if only for the image of Tiger doing a surreal commercial like Randy Moss and Rip Hamilton have done. Shout out to whoever is running this Keymaster arcade game. A post of this machine went viral because you could clearly see that the shoes inside are fake. Now, you could say that's a clever way to prevent someone from stealing one shoe, or you could clown them for thinking they could get away with it. This is the real life version of taking an L, and I kinda love it. Speaking of L's, Nike is headed to the metaverse, and I got nothing for it right now. My head hurts. We're probably gonna talk about it in a future episode of Hard Pass, but the first thing that came to mind was Metaverse Me taking a Metaverse L on the Metaverse Sneakers app. That's our dystopian Ready Player One future, everybody. And I hope you're happy. John Geiger has asked to be removed from the narrative and the lawsuit that alleges he stole Nike's Air Force One design for his GF1 sneaker. He claims that his customers are educated sneakerheads who would never mistake these for the genuine thing. The real power the Air Force One is in the swoosh, and that since Nike modifies the Air Force One all the time, it weakens the value of the trade dress, aka the shape of the Air Force One. So is Geiger saying that because Nike does whatever it is they want to do with the collabs and variants, it's okay for him to sell a devalued and de-swoosh derivative of a $100 sneaker for double the price? That's a weird flex, but okay. All right, before we move on to the next segment, here are my quick rankings of the NBA's 75th anniversary city jerseys. Am I going to explain this in depth why I ranked them the way I did? Nope. I'm just going to leave this here and let you talk about it in the comments just for funsies, you know? The F tier, aka failure all around, I wish I could unsee it, Miami. It's like a Ramson note or somebody at Nike really likes the opening credits to the Loki Disney Plus show. D tier, aka lazy day at the office, OKC, Orlando, New Orleans, Boston, Utah. C tier, aka it feels like they were going for something that I like, but the execution was either off or could have used more time in the oven, like they're a year away from being a year away. Washington, Clippers, Atlanta, Charlotte, Cleveland, Dallas. All right, B tier, aka good job, good effort, but missing that little something to put it over the top into the A ranking. Portland, Detroit, Chicago, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, New York, Houston, and Golden State. Then we have the A tier, aka all-stars who understood the assignment and have the potential to win it all, would not be mad if these became part of their regular kit. Philly, Denver, Memphis, San Antonio, Indiana, and Minnesota. Then the S tier, aka Hall of Famers, get these framed and send them to Springfield now. Phoenix, Sacramento, Toronto, and then the S plus tier, aka wearing this when we win number 18, baby, the Lakers. Well, yeah. How did you think this was going to end? Jokes aside though, How would you rank the NBA's 75th anniversary jerseys? If I wasn't such a Laker homer, I would buy those Sun Valley jerseys. Maybe the best Nike NBA jersey outside of the original Miami Heat Vice jerseys, but that's just my personal rankings. How would you rank these new jerseys? Not new jerseys, these new Nike jerseys. Let me know in the comments below. So, Ye. He was wearing CDG foams. Fantastic. I'm no expert in endorsement deals with billion-dollar sneaker corporations, but I'm willing to bet that Ye has once again violated the terms of his agreement with Adidas. At worst, that type of behavior is explicitly written in the contract, and that the three stripes could cut bait with Ye if they wanted, with zero problems on the legal side. At best, it's heavily implied that if you work with a brand like Adidas, you only wear Adidas. Yeah, I get the exception for wearing luxury brands, and maybe that's Ye's excuse. I mean, considering the significance of the collaboration and the work they did on the foams, Comme des Garçons has as much claim to that sneaker as Nike does. But this isn't the first time that Ye has flagrantly crossed the line and worn other brands. It wouldn't even be the second or third time. There have been multiple examples of Ye either wearing or flaunting that he could wear Nikes or Jordans with zero repercussions. He even tweeted that he's wearing Jordans until he's on the board of Adidas. Well, if we're going by that tweet, I guess Ye isn't on the board. So until then, we can expect more pictures of Ye wearing CDG foams, and as soon as he gets a pair, those patent leather bred ones dropping this Christmas, and boy, is that gonna be annoying. Like, this is why Nike gives 0 Fs. They let a guy who was probably the most influential sneaker figure of this century, not named Michael Jordan, go to a rival brand and have even greater success there. And yet, all that guy does is praise Nike and post with pictures of him wearing Jordans and foams as a sign that he still wants to make it work. It's the saddest love story ever, really. And quite frankly, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of Ye getting to flaunt his power over everybody else at Adidas. If James Harden or Trae Young tried to wear CDG foams during a pregame tunnel walk, they would be cut from Adidas by tip-off. Pharrell would last all of a day in J's before Adidas pulled the plug on its human race line. And the same goes for Nike and Jordan guys. Draymond Green can wear Nike Air Yeezys because he's a Converse guy, which falls in the same umbrella as Nike and Jordan brand. But if they were to rock Adidas Yeezys, nah. That's not gonna work. Could you imagine the internet breaking moment of LeBron James wearing foam runners? That would be insane. And that would piss off Nike so much that they would probably tear his billion-dollar deal in half. Like, what's the point of building up a brand with Nike or Adidas if you're always just seconds away from throwing it all out the window just because you want to be able to rock the forbidden fruit sneaker at your leisure? Like, I don't know if Mark Parker or John Donahue or any other Nike executive knows or gives a damn that Ye is wearing CDG foams, but if they've seen a picture, I bet they got a good laugh out of it. So here's my proposition. Screw endorsement deals. Let everybody wear what they want. Ye can't be the only one who gets to wear what he feels like. I want LeBron to wear the Curry 9 flow as a blatant ploy to recruit Steph Curry to the Lakers. Russell Westbrook is always on the bleeding edge of fashion. What's a better way to live that why not ethos than by wearing some Reeboks? Travis Scott might be Nike's hitmaker, but what if he did Cactus Jack and a New Balance 550 on the side? LaMelo Ball just dropped his first signature shoe with Puma. Who cares when he's wearing patent leather bred ones to match his patent leather suit and red Ferrari with patent leather interior? Keep Sue Bird fresh and Kyrie's? Nah, keep Sue fresh and Stan Smith's. It seems inevitable that we're gonna get a DC Under Armour Project Rock collab whenever Black Adam drops. But what if the MCU came calling and said, we're bringing back Iron Man and we want The Rock to be Tony Stark Jr.? Don't ask how that's possible. We can make that happen. You know Rocky would be on that plane to Georgia faster than he can drop a people's elbow to John Cena. And finally, wait, co-writer wants me to do it in The Rock's voice. Finally, Michael Jordan is still wearing Jordans, of course, but with baggy Adidas track pants. That would be crazy. All of that sounds bananas, but that's what happens when you have an amazing transcendent talent that has created a cult of personality where you can surround yourself with people who always say yes and never question you when you do something that disrespects your business partner. Now, you could put on your financial analyst hat and break out with the take that, well, this is all just marketing to Kanye and he wore those Nikes and Jordans to create controversy, and even if Adidas is upset, if it means more people will buy Adidas Yeezys, they're not gonna be that mad. First of all, do you actually believe that galaxy brain? And second, and if you do believe that, I guess your word and your signature on the dotted line doesn't mean anything as long as there's money to be made. Okay, good to know where your priorities lie. Anyways, that was a rant. Co-writer was in his bag today. If you're at Adidas, do you let Ye do as he pleases? or is it time to have a chat? You guys let me know. It's time for the Heat Check, where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. Quick heads up, there is a restock of the Adidas Yeezy Knit Runner Sulfur on November 13th, so look out for that. Nike SB Dunk High Gundam on the 10th for 110. The highly anticipated collab features the iconic anime robot franchise is finally dropping on the 10th. While I wasn't the biggest Gundam fan growing up, I got my transforming robot fix from, well, Transformers and of course Voltron. I have nothing but respect for the series and its multiple iterations. Speaking of multiple iterations, this pair and the hopefully dropping soon as well Banshee colorway has removable swooshes. Are you going to rock them with or without the swooshes? Air Jordan 13 Singles Day on November 11th. The pair that symbolizes self-love is back, and no, not that kind, but just so you know, we don't kink shame here on Hard Pass. Anyways, celebrating the most popular online shopping day of the year in China. No word yet on a release date here in the US as of this recording, but I wouldn't be shocked if we get it here stateside sometime before the end of 2021. Nike Dunk Low Pink Velvet on the 12th for $95. Dropping exclusively in kid sizes, this is one that is going to be very popular with the kids and a few grown-ass men with big feet and zero shame. The Air Jordan 12 Royalty on the 13th for $190. It's the Taxi 12 with hits of gold. I mean, that's all you really need to know. You either love the subtle changes or you're slightly bummed that it's not a one-to-one retro of the original. And then for the pick of the week is the Off-White Air Jordan 2 on the 12th for $250. Am I confident that this release date will stick? No, but numerous sites are reporting that this will be the day the controversial take on the Air Jordan 2 is set to drop. So let's just blame them if everything goes wrong. Just kidding. But yes, the Off-White Air Jordan 2 is going to be in the discussion for sneaker of the year by the powers that be, whether you or I like it or not. Like we've said before on this show, I respect Virgil Abloh for taking us on the journey with him as to how and why the sneaker exists. I just don't think the kids actually care about the history that much, whether that's right or wrong. They want to know if the hype is going to be there for these things, and all signs point to yes, judging by everybody who broke out with their twos to prove their bona fides in the months leading up to this drop. And now for a heat check on the Adidas Yeezy Knit Runner boot that is reportedly dropping on November 13th. We didn't put it on the regular rundown because A, it wasn't going to get our pick of the week award, so really who cares? And B, we didn't want to confuse anybody by slotting this and the regular knit Yeezy runner together because man was I confused when I first saw this thing, whatever it's supposed to be. So based solely on these pictures, it looks like the also just recently revealed Yeezy NSLTD not sled boot with a knit runner for a sock. And this is after we already made the joke that the knit runner was basically a giant sock for the Yeezy foam runner. Man, I didn't know Ye was such a Voltron fan. He's basically combining 3 different Yeezys into one super Yeezy. Too bad you can't take them apart so you can, have 3 different Yeezys if you wanted to. Ah well, as long as Kanye is on Team Lion Voltron and not that terrible vehicle Voltron, I think I'm okay with this amalgamation or abomination. I'm not sure yet. Maybe if Ye had gone full modular like the Air Jordan 2012 and released the foam runner, the knit runner, and the nestled boot as a triple pack, and you had the option to combine all 3 into the Super Saiyan Yeezy, I would be more on board. As it stands, it's 3 different Yeezys that I either lost interest in or never cared for to begin with. But I want to know what you think about these new knit runner boots. Are you rocking these for the holidays, or do you want my idea of a triple pack that you do a fusion dance with? Just putting it out there. It's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like Aaron Rodgers. For everybody who was on Kyrie's back, who we haven't heard from for a while now, unless he's mysteriously posting the logo of the Nike Kyrie 8, let's keep that same energy for Aaron, okay? All right, moving on. Let's do a quick follow-up on last week's show where our new friend to the program, Shanghai Soul on Instagram, showed off wall-to-wall Jordan retros just sitting in store shelves in China. This week, he posted yet another picture of shoes that we here in America hype to no end, Yeezys. And they are now just sitting on shelves as well. Not only that, Unbreakable Kicks has been getting plenty of buzz for his magical Chicago Nike outlet that has all sorts of hype Jordan retros in the middle of the store, including infrared 6s, Raging Bull 5s, and white Oreo 4s. Of course, that's just one example, and there's the possibility that those particular retros could be less than top quality since they are at outlet stores, but I think we're really getting closer to the days when we could just buy general release Jordans and whatever counts as general release Yeezys at the mall with zero problem. You're never going to be able to buy Off-White or Union collabs like that ever, but if you want the GRs, it's going to get easier and easier. The sneaker game is changing, and I think it's great. Of course, this doesn't apply to OG colorways for 1s and 11s, like those will be shows forever, but we are slowly getting there for everything else. Now, if they just did pre-orders for the OG colorways, Anyways, this week's actual hard pass goes to the one-sided beef between Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. For the past week, Scottie has been promoting the release of his memoir, which is called Unguarded, and my guy has been on a tear. As the New York Times describes it, the book is a masterclass in settling scores or creating new ones. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. Here's an excerpt from the book that GQ posted, which covered Scottie's reaction to the Last Dance documentary. Even in the second episode, which focused for a while on my difficult upbringing and unlikely path to the NBA, the narrative returned to MJ and his determination to win. I was nothing more than a prop. His best teammate of all time, he called me. He couldn't have been more condescending if he tried. On second thought, I could believe my eyes. I spent a lot of time around the man. I knew what made him tick. How naive was I to expect anything else? Yikes. Tell us how you really feel, Scottie. And here's the thing. He's not wrong about The Last Dance. I don't know if he's right about Michael Jordan being condescending when he says Scottie is his best teammate of all time, but Scottie is right about The Last Dance. It's a love letter to Michael Jordan. Think about how we in the culture think about The Last Dance now that it's been a year and a half since it debuted. It's all about Michael and romanticizing everything he did, good or bad. Why? Because he's Michael. And according to Scottie, Michael got $10 million for appearing in the doc, and his production company got to be a part of the process. Scottie got jacked for his contributions. Ouch. Between that and the way we've treated The Last Dance like canon, I'm not surprised Scottie's mad. Like, think about that final scene in episode 7 of the doc. You probably know it because every basketball meme account has posted that clip at least a dozen times, and it's so not annoying at all. It's when Michael talks about the critique of his leadership skills and how he treated his teammates. You know, I used to think MJ didn't hear us when we would joke that he was ruthless and spared nobody. Turns out, he did hear us. The emotion that came pouring out of that moment was the realest I've ever seen MJ be since the Bulls won the championship in '96 and he clutched that basketball and wouldn't let go as he remembered his late father. Oh wait, where was I? Right, Scottie. See, even I'm doing it. Michael Jordan deserves to be top billing, of course. He's Michael Jordan, the GOAT. But why doesn't Scottie have a moment like that in The Last Dance? If the excerpts we've been seeing and the interviews he's been giving are any indication of his thought process, Scottie has been holding in a lot, man. And he's not the only one. Phil Jackson doesn't get a moment to shine like that. Horace Grant was barely there, and according to him, he snapped back at MJ when he would try him. Not exactly the tyrant the legends have made Jordan out to be. I don't think we can expect much from Dennis if we're being honest. I'm honestly just glad that he did the doc. But how about a little bit more Tony Kukoc? Can we dig deeper into his story? Bill Cartwright threatened MJ's career after he heard that MJ was telling teammates not to pass the ball to him. Why isn't that in the doc? And I can already feel it. Somebody's gonna say, oh, nobody cares about those guys. Well, I do. I was there watching these guys win 6 championships. I wanted to know more about Scottie and Oris and Bill and John Paxson and Ron Harper and Kukoc and Steve Kerr and everybody else. Robert Parrish and John Sally, dudes who were on the Bulls' rivals in the 1980s, got rings during that second three-peat. I want to know how that happened. Here's an excerpt from a Parrish story in 2012 about his time with the Bulls. In one of his first practices with the Bulls, Parrish botched one of the plays and was amused to find Jordan jawing at him just inches from his face. He said, I told him, I'm not as enamored with you as these other guys. I've got some rings too, Parrish recalled. At that point, he told me, I'm going to kick your ass. I took one step closer and said, no, you really aren't. After that, he didn't bother me. See, during an early episode of Hard Pass, we said that we did not want The Last Dance to be an MJ doc. We wanted a 90s Bull doc. We did not get the 90s Bull doc, we got an MJ doc. It was an excellent, insightful, and amazing MJ doc, but it was still an MJ doc. I wanted more, and in that regard, Scottie was right. That being said, I want a hard pass to whatever hostility Scottie, Horace, and everybody else has towards MJ. Yes, it's funny to read all the quotes and listen to all of the interviews about those good old days because it gives me context to what I was watching growing up, but MJ is never going to talk. He already said his piece in the documentary about him, and quite frankly, there's nothing he could say that will ever top that moment in episode 7. It's annoying that certain people on social media have seemingly taken the wrong message from that clip and weaponized it to justify their own crappy alpha behavior. But for me, that was peak MJ, and that's all he needs to say. But I hope that sometime in the future, we get a follow-up to The Last Dance that gives the alleged everybody else a chance to really tell their story. I feel like Scottie's memoir is just the start. Okay, now it's your turn. Hit me up in the comments with your takes on Scottie, MJ, and whether you would watch a sequel to The Last Dance. And that's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week, but not before we do a quick heat check on the unreleased reverse Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low as shown by Kylie Jenner? It's cool, I guess. But now I have an idea for a Keymaster game. Stock it with samples and see if kids will think they are fakes. I'll see you next week. Peace.